It's the Ted the Atheist Show. The Ted the Atheist Show. Let's learn all about how the world works in the Ted the Atheist Show. All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you like my little intro. Worked really hard at that. Today I have a special thing for you today. Today we're going to talk about why there is no God, why we know there is no God, or why we have no reason to believe, and therefore we dismiss it. Just like Christopher Hitchens said, dismiss it. Why we can say there is no God, just like we can say there is no tooth fairy. Okay, the same thing. And how to always be right. Okay? And that's what we're going to get to today. I'm going to make it as short and sweet as possible because I tend to ramble on when I'm talking on the freaking camera. Got my M&Ms here. Almond M&Ms. And my OJ. I got to wash it down. I don't know what happened to me, but when I eat chocolate, if it sits in my throat for too long, I get a sore throat. It's weird. Weird. So, let's get on with it. I have a buddy in Greece. What's his name? Michael. He's pretty cool. He showed me how to use PowerShell, at least the basics. So, we're going to go with my limited knowledge here. And let's start with... here we go. I'm going to go perfect circle here. Obviously, this is the world. Perfect circle. We'll just call it the world. It can be the universe. It can be, everything we know. I'm just calling it world because whatever. So here's the world. All right. Now, we are going to have people. We're going to draw some peeps. Oops, wrong key. Here we go. So here is this dude. He's like, hey, I believe in a God. 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 Derpy, derpy. God, God, God. God, God, God. I love God. Oh, I love him so much. Oh yeah, he's my little Cupid. I don't need anything. I don't need a woman. I just need God. I need Jesus. Wee. Okay, so here's the preacher dude. All right. P for preacher. That's what I meant to say. And then down here, we're going to have you. I'm talking about you. This is you. Smiley you, all innocent. Hi. What's up? He says, there's a God. Actually, you know what? I should probably put him on a different... I learned this. I gotta hold to what I know. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then here's you. You're looking at him and you're talking like, hey, what's up? Hey, what? Huh? What's going down? Huh? So this dude here is saying, I should make one more of these. Sorry, I'm really new at this. What's up? Hey, I believe in a God. Okay. And so this dude here, he is saying there's a God, right? So what is he doing? This is important. This is going to be very basic, everybody. Very basic. But I think that this kind of thing needs to be talked to in a basic way because I found through all the hundreds of debates I've been through, like hundreds, I had to explain things in a very basic way. Now, that doesn't mean that I need to explain it to you in a basic way. You probably still just understand it, but sometimes explain things to you in a different way helps you understand it better or differently in a way you didn't before. So, I can give examples for that, but I won't get into that. So here we have it. So he's telling you something. Hey, I want you to think of this guy, this preacher here, as like an email notification. Okay, he's like, hey, he's trying to tell you, get your attention. Like, okay, what's up? What are you talking about? What's going on? and then he's gonna be like, oh yeah, there's a God, and so he's trying to teach you about. Let's see if I can do this right. Okay, he's trying to bring you here, right? He's trying to bring you here. There is something. There's something here in the world, right? That he's trying. Everything we know about. Let's start with this. Everything we know about is in the world, right? The universe, whatever you want to call it. Everything we know about is in the world we live in, right? So if something exists, it's because something in the world says it does, or shows it does, shall I say, right? Has to show it does. What's a couple things we have to know, right? A couple things we have to know is what is it, right? That's number one. What and how, right? What and how. Okay? So, what is it we're talking about? Why is that not different? Okay. What is it we're talking about, and how do we know, right? How do we know what we're talking about, right? Those are two very important things, and I think they're overlooked. So, here we have, so he's like an email notification. He's like, hey, there's the God. So you come along like, what do you mean there's a God? And then he tells you more Bible stuff. And then, you come down here to, hey, oops, I need to use a brush. I want to use a brush tool, bitch. Because the more than one layer is selected. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Okay. I'm a noob. Please have mercy. Okay, so this is how you spell it, guys, in case you didn't know. Bible. Okay? This is the Bible. All right? So, this guy is going to try to tell you that there's a God. Everything we know about in the world, everything we know about has to show in the world, right? I think we can agree that something in the world has to show that something exists, right? We can't just go off of what someone says, right? That's how we become gullible, right? And that's how we express our ignorance, right? There's two things you can know about someone who believes in a God, right? They are gullible and they are ignorant in at least that area of their life. It could spill over to other areas of their life, but we know for sure that those two things exist currently in that area of their life, right? Without a doubt, that's a fact. You can't debate that. There's just nothing. I don't care whether I'm talking to Ben Shapiro or anybody out there. I've had people all the time say, well, this high profile guy will be able to destroy your debate. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't be able to, because I stick to the facts. I stick to what shows to exist, right? I stick to logic and reason, and you have to give that up when you believe. But let's get back to the thing here, because I go off in tangents. That's what I do. Okay, so something in the world, whenever you believe in something like a chair that I'm sitting in, or a tree or something, there's something in the world that shows that a chair or a tree exists, right? There's something in there. So this guy is like an email notification. He's just here to notify you, right, of what he feels he found. Right? Now, when you ask him for evidence, what you're really doing is you're clicking on that notification, like you're on your phone here, okay? And you get an email notification, you click on it, you expect to be brought to an email, right? To an actual email that shows what the heck this email is about, right? But when you click on this email notification right here, it doesn't bring you. What if it doesn't bring you to email? What if it brings you to nothing? What if it brings you to your bank, or your Twitter, or just a notepad, an empty notepad? Or what if it just does nothing, right? It's a broken notification, right? Or as Michael said, it could be spam, right? It's like a spam, you're getting a spam email. You could be scammed, right? So if you're clicking on this notification and you get nothing, if you get nothing here in the world, then it's broken. it's a broken link, right? And sometimes I like to bring you to this to the Bible here, right? But what is the Bible? The Bible is just another email notification. We might as well put it up here, right? We might as well put it right here, because this is all it is hey, there's something in here saying that there is a God, but where down here in the world are we actually getting the information from? Because if we're getting it from how can I make brown this, let's just pretend it's red and brown, okay? Sorry guys. If we're getting this just from this dude, that means he's just like pulling stuff, little brown stuff out of his butt, and he's putting it in his mouth, and he's spitting it out. There's a God. He's spitting his poo out, spitting it out, pulling out of his butt, into his mouth, out of his face. And that's all he's doing, right? Because if you have nothing in the world here, if there's nothing here in the world that shows that anything someone says is correct, then we made it up, right? That's the only other explanation there is, right? We made it up. And if someone wants to say, well, there could be something that exists, we don't quite have evidence for it right now, it could exist, well, that's all fine and dandy, but you still need evidence. And if you lack the evidence, then we have to dismiss it, get to say it's not true, right? It's just not true. We're not, and if we ever say that there is no God, we can only say so with as much confidence as we say there is no Peter Pan or no Tooth Fairy or something of that nature. So he's spewing stuff out of his mouth here from his butt, and he's not referring to us to anything here. And the Bible's doing the same thing. It's telling us that there's a God, and everything that is said to exist, everything that's said to exist needs to be evidenced here in the world, and that's how we avoid being ignorant and gullible, right? Okay, because I always use, and people don't like it when I use those two words sometimes, but they're descriptive words. Okay, they're not insults per se. They're just descriptive words that describe your position you're in, right? Because if you believe in, Tooth Fairy, right, for example, there's really no reason to believe in Tooth Fairy. It's crazy to believe in Tooth Fairy, right? So you're a little gullible. You believe in it for no reason, and you're ignorant because you're not sure how to use logic and reason correctly in order to arrive at an accurate conclusion, right? Because in order to solve problems in the world, like hardcore real problems, we need to have a very clear understanding of how the world works. We need to have an intimate relationship with reality. Like, this is so important. But not every preacher like this dude here, a lot of them probably believe in what they say. They don't want to hurt you per se. They just don't know any better, right? Because when you're brainwashed or indoctrinated, you don't know that what you believe in is BS, right? You just don't know. I just helped deconvert a girl I was talking to. She's an atheist now for all intents and purposes. She believed in that stuff all her life. Her family shoved it down her throat constantly. It's kind of a big thing for her to realize now. She likes to talk about it, and of course I have to offer as much support as possible because I feel a little responsible. So I've all through my years I've helped to deconvert a lot of people. And it's not that they were hardcore believers before I met them, and then suddenly they hear me for the first time, and now they're not. Typically, just like her, people who no longer believe after they interface with someone like myself, they're already on the doubting road, right? They already have some doubts and stuff like that, and it just took someone to serve it up to them in a way that they can digest it and unsee it, because you can be a street preacher who's all very tactful, not a street preacher, a epistemologist or something on the street, and you can be very tactful and coddle people's emotions while you're talking to them and stuff, and you can have that, you can take that route. But then there's people like me who sometimes I take that route. It's very, very rare. But I can do anything. I can do everything. But I find the way I handle things because everyone's different, right? Everyone receives information differently, and there's people out there who um, might take very well to that the street epistemologist that I just told you about, I described to you, and then there's people who would take to me to the way I handle things, right? So there's different ways of fix this. There's different ways of approaching people and getting through to people, and so it's very important that we have all different kinds. And if I know I've inspired quite a few people to speak and say things to other people about this, or family and friends or whatever, people who've been to not sure what to say, I've inspired them. I got that from my messages or comments mostly, not so much emails. But however you want to handle it is okay, right? If you want to be more like me, you want to be more like the other guy, the street epistemologist. It doesn't matter how you do it. The fact is that you add a little bit to society, because society is supposed to be self-correcting, right? We're supposed to correct other people when they're wrong, right? That's the way it should be. And when we believe in things that are fallacious, because religious beliefs are bad for mankind, right? I know some people don't see it that way, but people out there who engage in religious violence, right, or make bad laws, that we have to live by, it could be anything, when those type of people have a religious base, a moderate base, and these moderates don't do bad things, as far as hurt people or do something, they're just a base that says it's okay to believe in a God and don't question it. They're a base for those people who will do bad things. If those extremists didn't have a base to fall back on that's telling them that it's okay, if they didn't have that, they'd be less likely to be where they are, right? So, I think we need. I'm not sure if religion will ever be fully educated out of society. I mean, maybe not. But the only way to really combat religious violence and to stop things like 9/11 and all the other atrocities that's happened I guess, continue to happen today, is to just educate religion out of society as best as we can. And I think it's very important. And the first step starts with you guys, with knowing, hey, just because you're saying that God is some magical, unknown woo-woo thing in the sky, doesn't mean that I should not be able to ask what it is and how we know what it is, right? I should be able to ask those two things. It's not exempt from those questions. It has, just like everything else, like the chair I sit in, how is this chair here? What's it made of? How is it holding me up? I should be able to tell you what a chair is and how it's doing what it's doing, right? A God is not exempt from that. Do not let anyone tell you, well, that's, you shouldn't be able to know that. That's, like, don't fall for that, all right? That's not the way we should be obtaining knowledge, right? Because we're asking what and how for a God, we should expect some information, right? And if we don't get that, if there's nothing here in the world that says, what that is, then we call BS. What is that? BS. It's BS. So, someone must be working outside. I just wanted to draw this little thing here and let you guys know that never take anyone's word for something being true, right? I mean, yes, we haven't all investigated every single thing we believe in, but we can if we wanted to, and that's the difference. Although we don't all know how this or that is so, and we might believe it anyways. But if we want to look into that, we can, unlike this deity, God, religious stuff. So, always look for what's in the world that reflects what they're saying, because all these people are notifications, right? They're just notifications. Are they going to take you to a dead link? If they do, then it's a shit. You uninstall the app, right? You don't want that app on your phone. That's a faulty email app. You don't want an email app on your phone It doesn't take you to do your emails. It's just not good. So you don't do that. All right. So that's pretty much it. What else? Anything I want to say? Oh, yes. I wanted to do a little part 2 on this. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. I have a real problem with. I don't know. Am I just not searching YouTube enough? Maybe you guys can help me out. I don't know. But why why isn't why isn't anyone trying to be right about everything? Does that make sense? All right, let me take some a couple examples here. Andrew Tate. I like his message. I like the stuff he says. He has good information, right? And I think a lot of people would do better if they listened to him, right? On a lot of things. But then you got the God thing, right? There's two things that are off the bat, and I can look into all his beliefs and stuff. And the God thing, he thinks everyone should believe in God. He thinks something's godless, it's bad. And then he tries to wiggle out of it by trying to define God as anything, right? I've heard that in some conversations, which makes it nothing, right? Because when you can define it as anything, like a woman, then it's not anything, right? And another thing, he's like, this is video games. Like, if you play video games, you're going to get anywhere in life. Well, no, that's not true. So, was he just never challenged on the idea of God or in video games? Was he just never challenged on those things? Right? Because those are two things right off the bat. If I'm challenged on something, right, I question it. Right? I look, am I correct? Am I correct about this? Am I correct about that? And if I'm wrong, guess what? I get rid of that belief. Right? I don't want to believe in something that's false, is bad. You know? I just don't. I think it's bad. I think in order for us to live good, long, healthy lives as beneficial as possible, we need to know the truth about everything. And what is the truth, boys and girls? Definition of truth is that which can be directly perceived. No, actually that's reality. Truth is the degree to which a statement corresponds with reality, right? And what is reality, boys and girls? That which can be directly perceived or indirectly ascertained via the proper use of reason, right? Is it reasonable to think that there's a God? No. Andrew Tate's wrong. Are you telling me he's never been challenged or looked into it? If he has, he's failed to do that, right? Video games. Lots of people who make money who play video games, okay? Who make good money, right? I just started my own business. I tend to do well. I play video games, okay? What else? Matt Dillahunty. I look up to the guy. He knows a lot of stuff. He's a smart mofo. He's very good. He's much better debater than I am, I think. But then he's a simp, right? I mean, he's all for... some of his views are just so piss poor on things that aren't religion. And it's like, where are the people on YouTube who are trying really hard to be right about everything? Like Matt Walsh, right? I watched his show a little bit. I loved his coverage of the Alphabet Mafia, right? And how he conquered that. How did Matt Walsh do it? He's always, remember his words, like paraphrasing here, but he's like, what's reality? It's logical, reasonable, blah, blah, blah. What's truth? Right? He used these words.
and you can't argue against him and be reasonable, right? He was correct in what he's talking. But then he goes on. He believes in a God, or he's against prostitution, right? Or he thinks I think he thinks people should get married or something like that. When it doesn't do men any good at all to do that, right? Um, he's just there's things that he believes in. Oh, and he's against abortion, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with getting an abortion. My other videos I talked about that. I think abortion should be fine. If just I'll give a short little story. I won't get into it, but you can't make someone give blood to save another person. Therefore, you can't make someone go through gestation and pregnancy to have a kid. They need to have their consent, continued consent, initial and continued consent. And we have plenty of people in the world. No reason to keep making us have more. But on that same token, I think men should be able to not have to pay child support if they never wanted the child, right? Because if some woman makes a baby with your sperm without your consent, why should no? You shouldn't have to pay for that. So that's I think that's reasonable. Of course, just like all of my views, I'm open for discussion on stuff. But I found people who are pro-life tend to rely on emotion for their base of their argument. They require you to have some sort of emotion in place for how you view babies and human life, and they try to, it's not really logic there. It's just emotion, and so that's why I've been dismissing them for the most part. But for the most part, I think that people really, I don't know of anyone out there who is trying to go for the truth and everything. Like, I'm not a liberal. I'm not a right winger, right? What am I? I'm in the middle. I'm for guns. I actually have a gun, but I hate religion. I think it's dumb. I'm for abortion. I'm for Medicare for all. I think if we're going to take care of police and fire and school, we should take care of people's health first and foremost. That should have been the first thing we did, right? So I've got a mixture of both sides, and I think it's important to strive for what's the most logical and the most reasonable. And I don't see anyone doing that. If someone is doing that, I would love to meet them. If you guys know of anyone who goes for that, who strives for that, who's open to changing and listening and learning, and if they're wrong, like I'm always like I have my views, and they might come across as very opinionated and structured and blah 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 blah, but I'm ready to change them, right? I'm ready to change them and become right, and I don't like to be wrong, but I'm not going to pretend I'm right just to continue to seem like I'm right, because then I won't be right. I'll be wrong, and I'll be seen as stubborn and unwilling to learn and grow, blah, blah, blah. So that's the way I see people like Matt Walsh. He thinks he's right in a lot of things, but then he's wrong about some things, but he's not even going to discuss them, right? These people, they join a group. Like Matt Walsh, he joined a group for the right wingers, and that's his base, and that's where he stays, and that's where he lives. What happens if you stop believing in God? Because it happens all the time. What happens if Matt Walsh stops believing in God? Is his wife going to stay with him? What's going to happen to his channel? Right? Is he going to go downhill? Is he going to have to change things in his life? Right? All things are. Why does your life have to be? So your life is. How your life is depends on the things you believe in, right? Because he's drawn a certain crowd for that. So if you stop believing in a falsehood, if something you believe in was untrue, and you corrected it, you would expect your base to follow you, correct? Because what are we all trying to do? We're all trying to have a voice like we're right, right? Like that's what Matt Walsh is doing and other people are doing. I mean, that's what Pearly Things, just Pearly Things is doing, right? She's got a nice little talk show going. I don't like her stance on abortion. I think I don't agree with it. I don't think it's reasonable to make someone, do something with their body. Just like I think it's unreasonable to make a man pay for something that a woman decided to do with her body, with my sperm, right? I don't think I should have to pay for it. So I shouldn't be made to pay for her actions, and she shouldn't be made to go through with her actions. She can do whatever she wants, right? So on that point of just pearly things, I think I don't agree with her, but I agree with just about everything else she talks about. Like, are there other things about that she believes in that I don't? I don't know. I don't know if she believes in a God or not. I haven't really seen any content from her that touches on that. Um, and maybe this abortion thing is more of opinion, not really something you can say truth or fact to. I'm not sure. I just think it's most reasonable to just let people do what they want with what they will or won't be introducing into the world. It's their choice. And I think we should let them do whatever they want. If you don't want to, then don't. But we shouldn't make people do things that they don't want to do in that regard. So I would like to one day be on Just Pearly Things. I'd like to be a person on there someday. Maybe that'll happen next year. Who knows? I watched the Andrew Tate thing with Just Pearly Things. I thought it was a good interview. He did talk about God stuff a little bit, of course, and I just wish I was there. But anyways, I just think that it's important that we inoculate ourselves against against things that people say that could be incorrect. And the way you're going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, is to refer to my awesome diagram here. And you can frame it if you want to. It's fine. I won't charge you for it. You can print it out, frame it. It's perfectly fine. I'll give you consent. Whenever someone says something is true, always question. Don't allow yourself to believe in stuff unless you have good reason. So always look for the pudding. What was that lady from the old commercial? Where's the beef? What was that? Wednesdays, right? Where's the beef? So always ask where the beef is. We should be asking, what is a God, right? What is it, right? People aren't doing that, are they? They're like, when you ask them what a God is, they come up with this, they barf up this, blah, 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 he's all being, he's all knowing, blah, 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 blah. He's omnipotent, blah, 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 blah. He's spiritual, blah, 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 blah. They puke up all these things, right, that mean nothing. Like, what's a spirit? Oh, it's a blah, 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 blah. I think it's nothing here. Look, it's nothing here in the world. What's a spirit? I don't know. It's a spirit. I don't know. Like, nothing. So we should know what it is. And then after we know what it is, because that's the first thing we know, because how can we talk about something we don't know what it is, right? How? We have to know how we know what it is, right? How? How do we know what it is? Right? So you want to tell me it's just a person living somewhere, if you want to go that route, it's a person living in some place. It's an actual flesh and blood person. If you want to say that, that's fine. Okay, now how do we know that? The Bible told me though, and it told me, it says right in the book. So that's what they do, right? Speak up a little more, people. Don't be afraid to speak up and question. I hope I hope my diagram made you look at things a little better. Don't go for piss poor email notifications. If someone's giving you a bad notification, delete that app, right? Don't need to be hearing that shit. All right, so that's it. Is there anything else? I had some notes here. I didn't really write too much down here. I pretty much said everything I want to say. I don't know how far I am into this. 34 minutes. Right. I've learned how to do some stuff with Premiere, so I'm going to try to run it through there and touch it up a little bit so my videos can suck a little bit less. Alright. So next time someone tells you, believe in God. Can I get pinkish here? Pinkish. What do? You do. One more. You do. Oops. Next time someone tells you to believe in God, you do. You go, hey, pretty there you go. This is what you can do with your Jesus and your God. Sorry, guys. Just a little. Alright, guys. Peace. Thanks. Ted the Atheist Show. Ted the Atheist Show. Yeah.